Hey loggers, I want to thank you for your support so far. Together we can build a wonderful community and expand this creepy universe even further. Help me reach 500 subscribers. Something very big is coming. Now without further ado, when we reach 500, the next door opens. What waits beyond is something I can't face alone. Join the logs. Stay aware. Stay afraid. Let's dive into today's story. When I inherited my uncle's farm, I expected dust, debt, and a long to-do list. What I didn't expect was the field. It's not on any map, not even old satellite images. Just a perfectly flat patch of wheat in the shape of a circle, hidden behind a stretch of dry woods. No path leads to it. You only find it when you're not looking. The locals call it the Eye. My uncle never mentioned it in his letters, but his journal told a different story. In shaky cursive, page after page, he wrote about sleepless nights, strange dreams, and the sound of something brushing the side of the house during windless hours. But it always came back to the field. I think it watches, not with eyes, with memory. It remembers footsteps, and it counts who comes in. At first, I thought he was paranoid, until I saw the scarecrows. There were 14 of them, standing in the center of the field, arranged in a perfect circle, old, ragged, faces made of stitched burlap, eyes painted in charcoal smudges. They never moved, but I swear, every time I turned my back, I heard shifting straw. The next day there were 15. I asked around in town. Most people just gave me that look, the one you get when you've said something you're not supposed to say out loud. Only one guy answered, some war vet who ran the junk shop out by the river. He just said, "Your uncle stayed too long. They like people who stay." I asked who they were. He didn't answer, just handed me a small burlap doll with a button sewn over one eye and said, "You'll know them when they start dreaming through you." Last night I fell asleep on the porch. I woke up just before dawn, covered in dirt. My feet were caked in soil, and there was straw in my mouth. I ran to the field. There were now 16 scarecrows. One had my boots. I haven't slept since the scarecrow wore my boots. Not truly. Every time I close my eyes now, I dream of rows, infinite wheat stalks that sway even when there's no wind. I walk between them endlessly, and at the center, I always see the same thing. A scarecrow with my face, smiling and whispering a name I can't quite hear. This morning I went to burn the field. I poured gasoline, snapped matches with trembling fingers, but the fire wouldn't catch. The flame refused to live. It just flickered, fizzled, and went out. And then the wind picked up, sudden and sharp, blowing only in circles, forcing the wheat to sway like thousands of bodies nodding in agreement. I turned to leave, but the path was gone. The trees had shifted, and I swear I could feel something moving beneath the soil, not deep down, but right below the surface, like it was crawling just under the skin of the world. I made it back to the house, barely, but something had changed. The windows were covered in burlap, and the old radio in the kitchen kept turning itself on, playing only whispers layered on top of each other like static. Over and over, you stayed, you saw, you are remembered. I opened my uncle's journal again. The final entry had appeared since I last looked. The handwriting was neater, not his. Once the eye knows your shape, it wears you. It keeps your walk, it keeps your shadow. And when you're empty enough, it fills you back in. I looked in the mirror, and for a split second, my reflection was made of twine and buttons. I ran to the field one last time, not to fight, but to surrender. It was too late. I knew it. The scarecrows had formed a new ring. 17 now. One stood in the middle, arms raised like a preacher, head cocked. It didn't move, but my mouth did. Without me, it smiled, then whispered, "Count me in." That was yesterday. Today, I'm writing this from the attic. I haven't left the house since. Because when I walk past the mirror now, my reflection stays behind, and I can feel straw growing beneath my skin, like the field is getting ready to harvest what's left of me. If you ever find the eye, do not count the scarecrows. Do not listen to the dreams, and above all else, do not stay, because the field doesn't watch for fun. It watches because it's waiting to become you.